Hi there, this is Dan Elke, and I'm going to try and show you via video how to put together a set of this shelving. First I'm going to go over the parts. Big parts here are the ends of it. There's pairs of these special screws that have kind of a goofy head on them. That's what is latched onto by the ends of the shelves, and it helps hold everything together. So this is a unit that's about 5 foot high, has 2 sets of them, so it's a double-sided. This is what we use mostly in our building. There's also some 6 foot or over 6 foot high ones that are just for a single side. Those are meant to go against an outside wall. You could probably put a couple of them together using some other plywood and some drywall screws. We didn't really use any of those because we didn't have a good place where we could put them. We might have something different. So those are the end pieces. This is what everything attaches to. The first shelves, these have kind of a little bit of an L shape. They're extra thick at the front, and you can see they have a black front edge. So these are the very bottom, or the first shelves that go into the system. So we'll put one of those on the floor first. On top of those, you have vertical risers that go into place. They're very thin, flat pieces. And then the last parts that I have here are what I call the regular shelves. If you look at the end of them, there's some specialized hardware here that hooks onto these screws, and there's 2 grooves on the top and the bottom, and that's what the risers go into. We'll see in a second. So, you start off by getting some help here. Somebody to help hold these ends for you. So you take an end, and if you look, there's 2 half moons on the bottom of each of the shelves. Those fit over the top of the screws, and then you slide them towards the center. So you can set that on there. You get it so it's pretty much square with the world, and then it pops back in place. Now, I'm just using my hand here. A rubber mallet is a really good thing to use to smack these, because you want to get them pretty firm to really get them latched into place. So again, you kind of pick it up, you slide those screws through those half moons, and it's got to be tight, and then you hit it back into place. And you'll feel it kind of latch into place. Now at this point, these ends are really wobbly, so you got to hold on to them. Once you have one bottom shelf on, if you have another black edged bottom shelf, this goes in on the other side. And I can feel it go over those half moons. And then I push it in to latch it into place. There we go. Once we've got that done, we put a vertical part in. We put that vertical part, the white facing out, the little tongue on it goes into the groove, and it just kind of sits there. It's kind of floppy at first. And then we put another shelf up on top of it. Again, you line up these little half moons over the top of these screws. Now, that can be, until you get the feel of it, it's going to be a little bit of a trick. But what you can do is you just get your nose right down here, and you can see, and slide it right over the top. Make sure that the vertical part is into the groove, and then push it back into place. Now, you want to make sure that there's no gap between the end and the shelf. So you want to pull that in tight, and then once you have it pulled in tight, then you can slam it back into place. Now at this point, you can let go. These are pretty solid. I mean, they're not real solid because we just have 2 shelves. But once you get that second shelf in place, it firms it up a lot more than when you have no shelves. You do now the same thing to the other side. You take one of these verticals, you slide it down into that groove, take the shelf, line up those half moons over the screw holes, or over the screw heads I should say, get that vertical riser into the slot, and then drive it home. And like I said, using a rubber mallet at this point to drive those in is a really good thing. You don't want those a little bit loose. You want to get them in solid. You'll probably hit it a little bit too hard once or twice and you'll break one or two. Stuff happens. You should hopefully have enough spare parts there that you'll be able to do it. But that's the majority of putting it together. You know, after this, you put in another 2 risers, another 2 shelves, another 2 risers, another 2 shelves, and you have a shelf for each one of these sets here. At the very top, it's a little bit different. Up there, you only have 2 screws, so you actually have to have 2 risers that come up, and you have a specialized purple part that goes across the top that has just 2 slots on the very bottom of it. You might have to flip it end for end to make sure that the slots line up with where these, and the half moons line up with where those screws are. But, you know, flip it back and forth to see which way works best. I can't tell you exactly how I figure it out. I just do it until it looks right, I guess. And then you drive that home too. And that's about it for how you put it together.